I'm Sally Morton, and I am the newly appointed Executive Vice President of Knowledge Enterprise at Arizona State University. And I'm also a professor in the School of Mathematical and Statistical Sciences and the College of Health Solutions, and I hold the Florence Eli Nelson Chair. I did not always know that I wanted to be a statistician, but I always had a knack for math, and I really liked solving word problems. And as an undergraduate math major, I had the opportunity to learn from a faculty member who was a famous and very well-accomplished health statistician, and I think that's when I really discovered how statistics could be used to answer important questions about the world around us. I think it's important to work toward gender equality in all fields. There's simply no good argument for gender inequality anywhere in any field. Now, the sciences, like statistics in particular, have been male-dominated, so encouraging and mentoring women in STEM, starting very early, kindergarten, is an absolute necessity. I always say that diversity makes science stronger. What advice would I give my college-age self about standing up for myself? Well, I think when we first enter college, we start discovering who we are as people, really separate from our families, separate from our communities that we grew up in. And I'd like to think I have always stood up and advocated for myself. I think I would tell my college-age self to also advocate for others as much as possible and to encourage other women, particularly in STEM. And I would also encourage myself to always make room for fostering a sense of curiosity. Curiosity lays the groundwork for innovation and scientific discovery throughout life. It's not why International Women's Day is so important in 2021, but how do we perpetuate this every day, every month, every year going forward, so that the future for girls and women everywhere, it's bright, it's rewarding, it's promising, it's safe, and it's equal. And I think it's wonderful to set aside a day like this, and I'm so honored to be part of this celebration, but it's vastly more important that women's rights, their contributions stop being seen as a cause. I think the pandemic in particular has shown a light on gender inequity. And in fact, it's increased that inequity. Women have borne the brunt of childcare, the closing of schools, elder care, and job loss. And women are really the fabric of our societies, our industries, our governments, our educational system, including systems of higher education, such as Arizona State University. And I think the work of all should be recognized and supported every single day of every year. So who do I look up to in particular among the many women I know? So the first thing to say is I've been very fortunate to have had many powerful, inspiring women in my life, some as mentors, some as teachers, friends, colleagues, but most importantly as family. My mother, who's over 90 now, was a physician at a time when very few women were in that profession. And my daughter, who's just begun college, is interested in pursuing a career in science as well. And I think they're my biggest inspirations. But I'm also delighted to have joined ASU and to be surrounded by and collaborating with strong women leaders here. My hope is that female students will see us as role models and recognize that they too have a place at every table.